Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 522nd episode of the PUCL Podcast. My name is Thatch. I am your host. I am here today with my spectacular co-hosts, both who are living in the mountains, or around mountains, I guess. I don't know. Are you mountain men? I don't know. We've got P McGee.
Hello.
And we've got the one and only Mark.
Oh, hi.
There's no other Mark. Mark's a very unique name.
That's true.
There's no other Mark.
Never in history.
I like that we have like this very like crazy litany of names that people host the show. We've got like Thatch, and we've got P McGee, and we've got Whimsicott, and we've got Claude9, and then we've got Mark. And the only thing that makes it better in my heart is I know your real name's not Mark.
Common misconception. A lot of people think it is.
I know, it's funny. But welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, stands for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007, where we talk everything Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. It's definitely 2007, unlike what the Spotify or anywhere you watch the podcast tells you episode 1 came out on, because if you look at episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they all came out on the same day because of a re-upload. Coil.
Yeah.
We did it. We called them out on the show. That's all that matters.
Yeah, we can stop now.
Yep. That was the show's over now, actually.
That's all we stepped in for this week.
That's 522 episodes. The show's over now. It was all one massive burn for Coil. For one man. But we talk everything here on the show, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. We're talking video game. We mostly talk video game. I don't know why I have that tagline anymore. I mean, I like talking about the TCG, but right now the TCG is just like insane. And you can't play it if you wanted to in person because you got to buy the cards. And I don't know how you buy Pokemon cards anymore unless it's like from some guy's trunk because he like mugged a van that was delivering them to like an orphanage or something. And like,
or McDonald's.
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. So they totally, I mean, I don't know if you all heard the story, but there was a story early on when this like all started, all the scalping, where they were putting trackers on Target delivery trucks.
Oh, God.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
They literally put trackers on it, and they were following them from store to store. I wish I believed in the value of cardboard that much.
That's wild.
But why even put a tracker on them? I mean, just, you know where the stores are. Just go to them.
I think it's in order to like time it out to like know which store they're going to next.
Oh, so you can just swoop in?
So you just swoop in, buy everything out before they get there. Or like right after they deliver.
Jeez. Because
you care that much about the Pokemon card market. I don't know. Like, I used to be on Burbank City. Well, I'm still on Burbank City, unfortunately, on Facebook. It was one of like the bigger Facebook groups to be on for that. And they always used to just talk about like what decks were good and stuff like that. And that was really interesting for me because like I'm not like super big into the TCG. I'm definitely not a deck builder. I'll never be like a meta changer or anything. But it's really interesting to see what's going on. And now that entire Facebook group has devolved into like, do you think buying this would be a good investment? No, that's literally what it's like. It's like watching a worst Wall Street Bets.
So, I mean, I'm surprised people are still on that train. I thought that kind of...
It hasn't ended.
Stopped, or at least calmed down?
I mean, maybe it's calmed down. I did see that they overstocked Pokemon cards for Christmas, which makes me very happy.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm very happy about that, but I am just blown away by some of the like things that are going on, because they're just like, well, if I buy this sealed booster box from this set, and like sometimes it's not even like that old of a set, and they're just like, yeah, I think it'll appreciate in value, you know, blah. And I'm just like, man, what a waste of time.
You know, it's wild to me having lived through the first fad of Pokemon cards back in, you know, the late 90s. And, like, everyone had the same mentality, you know, it was post Beanie Baby, so they're like, oh yeah, we'll buy all these cards, this, you know, this shiny Charizard, it's gonna be worth millions. And it's like, everybody kind of stopped caring after about a year, and now all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh yeah, man, all these Pokemon cards, they're so great.
Pokemon cards definitely, like, dipped off in, like, after Gen 2, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I remember liking the EXs when those first came out in Gen 3. Those were cool when I was a kid. But yeah, I remember a lot of the classic Pokemon cards. I got to see a shiny Charizard card in a store not too long ago. That was kind of neat.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
I don't know if it was a first edition or not. I don't know. It was a $500 card, so it was I don't know what value that makes it, but it was interesting seeing a childhood card be worth that much. I will say that.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was worth like $100 back in the day, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I remember P was expensive.
They are expensive, and I do not want to get into that life. I'm sitting over here waiting for TCG Live to happen and, like, just go play TCG. Just go play some TCG on stream or something. But, like, oh man, no, that definitely is, the TCG is nuts right now. And I don't know how I can get into it again. Like, I definitely don't want to play it in person anymore. Just because, like I tell everybody, my friend circle's full, right? And I don't want to, like, go to League and try to make new friends. And sometimes the people that go to those leagues aren't, like, the best people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They aren't the best people. Like, I had an interaction with one of the guys who was, so, like, I was somewhat involved when I lived in Columbus. And then once I moved to Dayton, I met, like, one of the guys who was in the league, and I was like, oh, maybe I should start going, you know? And, like, I was talking with this guy, and I was just like, oh, I do not want to hang out with you.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I will not do this then. And that is when Thatch got out of the TCG in print.
I had a similar experience when I started doing D&D, like, randomly to try and meet people. That was real crapshoot.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a real hodgepodge.
Yeah. I feel like if you do anything game store related, you've got, like, I don't want to be stereotypical because, I mean, obviously, like, I'm very into D&D and stuff like that, and I wouldn't call myself, like, the quote-unquote stereotypical nerd, though I would call myself, like, the quote-unquote actual nerd. Like, I'm a very standard nerd, but not the stereotypical nerd. But, like, you get a lot of those stereotypical nerds at, like, game stores.
And they're honestly pretty insufferable.
Yeah. There's a reason they're going there to meet friends and they don't have friends to already play with.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, that's one of those things I've noticed. And, yeah, I thought about doing Adventurers League for D&D because I never get to play D&D anymore. I just get to run D&D now. And,
DM for life.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know that I want to go to the store and do that. I don't know that that's the right place for me to go. It's not exactly my jam.
I definitely tried getting into the Super Smash Brothers scene, or like the, what was it? I think like on Wii during college, and I just, you know, it was real hodgepodge. There was a couple events where it was cool people, and then sometimes I was just happy to leave after a couple of hours.
Oh,
so,
I get you.
It's hard. I mean, you can meet some cool people there, but like, it's better if you come into it with like a friend or two, so you don't feel obligated to
absolutely
overly socialize.
I think that's true for pretty much everything in that space. Like, even going to Pokemon regionals or like going to a Pokemon premiere event or something like that. I don't know that I would go there on my own.
No, I mean, I've thought about like midnight releases, how I used to go to those during high school and college, and now I wouldn't go by myself anymore. I would definitely need to bring someone.
Absolutely.
Just so I don't have to. There's some cool people at those. There always have been, but it's something it's nicer to go with a friend at this point in time than be.
You need that safety. You need that safety net.
Yeah. Because I've run into it once or twice where you just get stuck in a conversation with someone and you can't walk away because you're standing in line. And so you're just kind of stuck there. Yep. It's a captive audience situation.
Oh, I get you. I've had those before. Yeah. That's one of those things. Just like, it's a crapshoot going to these things. And I don't know. Maybe it's just that I'm 30 and I'm like very jaded at this point in my life. Like maybe like 5 years ago when I was 25, maybe I'd be like, yeah, that's not that bad. But now I'm just like, no thanks. I've got a couch at home, you know?
Yeah, I've never seen the appeal of going to those myself.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun at first, and I think going to premiere events, if you go to like a good location that like has people that knows how to run them, you can have a lot of good times.
Mm-hmm.
Especially pre-releases. Like, I really enjoy Pokemon pre-releases, even outside of like just being a TCG player. If you like casually like the TCG, going to a pre-release, grabbing a box with a few packs, and just like essentially just building a deck for funsies out of whatever garbage cards you have, I think it's a blast. So I would recommend that if they start up, then, as long as you're following proper COVID guidelines and whatnot. So definitely think about that.
Yeah.
But you know what? We did an intro, so I think it's time for us to talk about the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. Our news today has things in it. They actually announced something for Pokemon Legends Arceus because it's been 2 weeks since BDSP came out, so why not? And we got news, to nobody's surprise, that Hisuian Voltorb's a thing.
Yeah.
I really, this one like upsets me. I have like a mini rant about it on stream the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, please inform me of this distaste. I'm actually quite excited with this one.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool because it's electric grass, and like I have no issues with the Pokemon itself. Like, I'll be straight with that. The thing I hate is, so I've been following like the leaker community, obviously, because I need to be up to date on what's going on in the community and the trends and whatnot. That way, when people ask me about things like that, I can reply.
Yeah.
Right.
And so one of the things that happened was people are just, this was like a leak. I'm putting leaks in quotes like very heavily, that there was going to be a Hisuian Voltorb like months ago. Right. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm familiar with this as well. Yeah.
I'm like, this is very low hanging fruit. They introduced like a very specific style of like old new Pokeball. And I'm like, I could have predicted that. There's going to be a Hisuian Voltorb. And I think I did, like when we talked about Hisuians we wanted. I'm like, I think Voltorb might happen, and it's probably going to be like electric grass. And that's 100% what we got. But it upsets me because my IRL friends like follow these leakers, and they're like so convinced they're right, and they're just not. Like, it's just one of those instances where it's just like, yeah, they got really low hanging fruit, and they did it. Yay, good for them.
Remember all those leaks that ended up being incorrect?
Yeah, because the one, okay, so these are the same leakers that keep claiming like we're gonna get Hisuian evolutions for the starters, and I'm just like, please stop, it's not gonna happen. And then you're all gonna be upset that it didn't happen,
right?
And then you're gonna be like, this is awful. Why can't Typhlosion be not a Typhlosion? And it's just like, oh, please stop. But yeah, Hisuian Voltorb's cool though, like the Pokemon. I'm upset about the cultural relevance.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see with the Hisuian Voltorb, because I made a big thing about how like there's a bunch of seeds in its body. I'm curious to see if some of those start to sprout when it evolves, and so like maybe Electrode looks vastly different, or we see a Hisuian evolution. Because I could see the grass aspect really playing into the evolution here if they go that route.
I could see it not being Electrode. I could totally see Electrode happening.
Like a completely different Mon.
Yeah, just kind of like Berserker, you know?
Yeah. You're probably right, because it's not like it's just going to be turned over, right?
Yeah, I mean, they could do the thing where it turns over. What's really cool is that if you actually like go and read through the press release, there's like a really cool back lore for Voltorb in general now. Which is really cool because like so we're just like, oh, why is Voltorb, right? In the game. This is stupid. It's just a Pokeball. And it's because, one, the Pokemon Voltorb first, like, evolved to start mimicking the apricorns that Pokeballs were made out of. And then once Pokeballs were made, it started mimicking those Pokeballs.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, isn't it? It's literally like a 25-year, like, explanation, which is really great.
Well, because otherwise it's like, wow, this Pokemon immediately evolve to look like something that was like probably recent technology.
No, it's really cool. Like if they were to come up with something similar for like Magnemite, I think it would be really cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, just for any Pokemon that is based on like an object per se, like I think it would be interesting to have that happen. By the way, there's also a stop motion animated film with him that's on YouTube, and there's going to be a second part releasing later this week, I believe the 14th. That's Tuesday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks out.
So that's cool.
But, yeah, I don't know. Hisui and Voltorb's cool. I mean, it's weird that it's in Legends. I really want these Pokemon to come to Swish just because there's so many new ones in Legends Arceus, and I think they could be meta changers. I don't think they will. Like, I'm not convinced.
Could be.
I would love for it. The only thing that gives me like not hope that you won't get these Pokemon in Swish is that they didn't update Nosepass's evolution method. This is like a very nitpicky thing, but they just didn't do that, so I don't know.
Oh, like it still evolves through Mount Coronet?
Yeah, well, because he only evolves at Mount Coronet, but like if you think about Magneton's been updated, so it's just Thunderstone.
In BDSP, it's Thunderstone, or is it Mount Coronet? And
it's both. It's both. It's both. It's got two evolution methods.
Interesting.
It's got both evolution methods. Yeah, you can both use a Thunderstone and do Mount Coronet for Magneton and BDSP.
That's cool. I wasn't aware.
Yeah, I mean, same thing technically for Leafeon and Glaceon. I don't think Ice Stones in BDSP are available in BDSP at least.
Yeah, but the Leaf Stone might be.
The Leaf Stone 100% is. It has to be.
Yeah. It
has to be. So you can evolve Eevee with the Leaf Stone and get Leafeon.
That's good. That's the way it should have been.
Yeah. I mean, that was a good retcon, so I'm all for it. But we'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll see. All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah. So the 6th episode of Pokemon Evolutions has released and focuses on Zinnia. Episode 7, titled The Show, will release on December 16th, so they're pumping a couple of these out right now.
Yeah, they're just pumping them out like every week. I think up till Christmas, essentially.
Which is fun. I went ahead and watched through all of them.
They're cute.
The other day.
They're cute. I don't like them as much as I liked the Generations ones they did, but I can totally respect them not wanting to do as much as they did for that.
Right.
Yeah, that was a much more, because that was a full season's worth of episodes, right?
It was 18, I think, if I recall correctly. It was 18.
It that many? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was 18, and it only covered the first 6 generations. It was 3 episodes per generation. I mean, I would have appreciated maybe 2, but again, Generations still exists, and it's not like they came up with new stories for Gen 2 and Gen 3 for them to go over. And so that's just something to put out there. Mark, talk about your favorite game, Pokemon Unite.
Oh, man. So Dragonite has been announced as an upcoming character. Release on December 20th during the special holiday event, which begins on the 15th. Which also adds Delibird and Articuno as opponents in Shiver City, and Tauros, Cubchoo, Beartick, Stantler, and Panpour to Remote Island. New mode, which involves attacking a snowman as a snowball. I don't know what that even means.
I don't either.
It means exactly what you just said.
And the Illumination Challenge runs also from December 15th through January 16th and allows you to collect items in light by completing challenges. You can then exchange these lights for items.
Like Santa hats.
Yeah.
Which is really fun because, like, I don't know if you can get enough points to get the Santa hat until, like, after Christmas, like, well after Christmas. So nobody's going to be like, yeah, I want to wear the Santa hat in, like, June 10th, you know?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm into it. So, speaking of Unite, we've gotten confirmation that they've gotten 50 million downloads, both on mobile and Switch so far. That's a lot.
Interesting.
That's actually a lot. Like, and that's just, if you assume that even everybody like downloaded it twice, which they probably did to get the free Pikachu and whatnot, that's like that's still 25 million people.
Yeah, that's quite a few.
That's more. That's like 25 times the people who bought Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX.
This is true. It's tragic, but it's true.
It's true. McGee, I'm still there. I was there for you. Okay, I said they should put Deoxys and Celebi in BDSP if you have save data for Mystery Dungeon DX and Pokemon Snap. That's all I'm saying.
That'd have been nice. That'd have been nice. People would have spent $60 on BDSP just to get Deoxys, or on Mystery Dungeon just to get Deoxys.
Yeah, they totally would have. 100%. That is very, very possible. But until so starting January 9th until January 31st, if you log into Pokemon Unite, you will get 2,000 EOS tickets, which are worth things in the game. But I guess we're gonna move on to Pokemon Go because Tiny Tourney is gonna be over by the time this happens.
Yeah, tragically. So a couple big things in the Pokemon Go world. First, we have the next event, which has been announced. It's the holiday event, and it's running December 16th through the 31st, and introduces Bergmite into the game. Costume Pokemon will appear in the game. Pikachu in a holiday hat, Holiday Delibird, Stantler, and Cubchoo will return, while Holiday Spheal and Glaceon will be added, and all can be shiny. It's broken up into several parts. Part 1 running the 16th through the 23rd. Increased spawns of Pikachu, Swinub, Stantler, Delibird, Snorunt, a lot of the Ice-type Pokemon, and Ice-adjacent Pokemon. Pikachu and others in 1-star raids. Pikachu, Alolan, Vulpix, Swinub, Stantler, Spheal, Cubchoo, and Craganoll will be in some field research you can do. Part 2, which is the more interesting part, is where running December 23rd through the 31st. This is where Bergmite and Avalugg will start to appear.
Yay!
You get an incubator for spinning a Pokestop each day, which is also pretty great.
Wow.
New timed research will add an encounter with Galarian Mr. Mime. Some slight change-ups to what's in the raids and eggs, but nothing wild, just the kind of Pokemon you'd expect. And then Winter Wonderland is running on December 25th and 26th. It's a little mini event. There's a collection challenge to trade for Swinub, Snorunt, Spheal, Snover, Venonite, and Cubchoo, and gives you an encounter with Galarian Mr. Mime. And then trade distance will be 40 kilometers during the duration of that event. Whew.
Nice.
Good
That's
job, McGee.
It is a lot.
You did it. Don't worry.
If you like Ice-type Pokemon, this is your kind of event.
This is your time to shine. I can think of one person specifically. I can think of, and I know we all are thinking about it.
Yeah.
Here, Mark, tell us about the things that we knew that were coming for the past year.
Yeah, so Niantic has announced that powered-up Pokestops are going to be soon available worldwide. I think they put something out in the game about this recently. I was reading. It allows you to power up Pokestops and gyms for a short time by completing AR mapping tasks. All trainers who spin a powered-up Pokestop will get more rewards, and there are 3 levels depending on the number of scans you get in. I'm curious to see what this is going to actually look like.
I imagine it's going to be like gyms. Like, it has to be like gyms, right? Like, where you level up the gym based on the badge.
The impression, I thought, it seemed like they weren't, like, permanent power-ups, I guess? I don't know.
Also, you telling me that you, like, saw something in the Pokemon Go app and you were just, like, reading it one morning it feels like you were at your kitchen table one morning reading the paper and you're like, honey, did you hear about the powered-up Pokestops? And then your wife kind of looks at you and goes, you need to stop talking to Thatch.
Yeah. We need to talk about your addiction, honey.
Thatch is just a figment of your imagination. He's not real. He's not real. In PUCL news, Advent calendar's still going on. By the time this comes out, it's halfway over, but patrons at the $10 level are getting bonus giveaways because they typically get 1 a week anyway, so we just made it 7 a week, which is, now that saying that part out loud makes me a little uncomfortable. But yeah. It's a lot of Pokemon. We're doing that until December 24th, so be there or be square, get your Pokemon. I don't remember what's on the agenda for Monday, because there are a lot of Pokemon on that list, and I've already messed it up, and Sigma's called me out for it. So we have a good time. Also, don't forget to take the PUCL Survey. I believe we're at like 130-ish responses. If we get to 200, we're definitely going to be giving away to the community shiny Sinnoh starters and BDSP. So, woohoo. Yeah, do that. We need to do that by December 31st. Yes.
Yeah. So basically 3 weeks still.
Yeah, 3 weeks. There's some time, but you should just do it now. It's in the show notes. It's on the Discord. Go do it. On that note, though, I think that's everything we needed to talk about. So we are gonna kick it on over to PUCL's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to our Puckle's Poke Quiz. Thank you for that introduction, other Mark, that doesn't have a head cold. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into it. Our first question this week is going to come from Retro. And Retro would like to know, in all of the Water Egg groups, Water 1, Water 2, Water 3, there's only one Ghost-type Pokemon line. What is it?
In the Water Egg group? Oh boy.
So Frillish is in there, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that fits in the Water Egg groups. I'm trying to think of what other Corsola might be in there.
Yeah,
Like
Corsola
Galarian
makes
Corsola?
sense.
Actually, I could see Galarian Corsola being in there.
Yeah, that one really stands out to me.
There's Delmise, but I think he's in his own special group. Like,
Right.
you don't think he's in that group. Corsola strikes me as something... Well, that might be Mineral. Corsola might be Mineral group. I don't really know egg groups that
Me
well.
neither.
I can't believe that's gave
I
us...
just threw a Ditto
This
out
was
and call it
easier than the other one. Okay, than my other choice.
good. I mean, I'm okay with trying Corsola.
Okay, that's fine. We'll say Galarian Corsola. Final answer. Tell us we're wrong.
Galarian Corsola is correct. Galarian Corsola and Corsola are correct. Jellicent, the Jellicent line, isn't actually in any of the Water Egg groups. It is only in the Amorphous Egg group.
Oh,
Interesting.
Because that's like where the ghost and shellless mollusk like Pokemon are. He's a jellyfish.
Interesting.
So, all right. Well, you're 1 for 1. You guys are doing really well so far.
Yes.
Do you want a question about Let's Go, or do you want a question about Pokemon sprites?
Oh.
It's not the Let's Go you're thinking of, by the way. So don't.
Pikachu and Eevee?
Yeah, it's not what you're thinking of.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Sprites it is.
Sprites.
This is from Sly. What pair of mainline Pokemon games are the only ones to have different Pokemon sprites, like the 2 versions between the 2 of them have different Pokemon sprites?
The only one.
To have different
What?
Pokemon sprites.
First gen
What do you mean
had
by
different ones. Or am I misremembering that?
What? Sorry? Say again?
Gen 1. I thought Gen 1 had different sprites for red and blue.
Oh, you know what? If that sounds good to you, I'll believe you because I really don't know. And I
I
can't.
think that was correct. I mean, I know they had different versions, obviously, from the Japanese release to the American release, but
Yeah.
I think they had different between the 2.
Okay, I'll believe you. I got nothing to counter with.
It's been, I don't know.
Red and Blue is unfortunately incorrect. Red and Blue didn't actually have different sprites between the 2 versions. Most generations, what happens is you have like improved sprites in like the 3rd version, and so Red and
Right.
Blue followed that trend where Red and Blue had the same sprites and then Yellow had better sprites.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Also, not to mention like Red and Green happened as well, and then Red and Blue happened, which was like already souped up Red and Green, and then we got Yellow, which was just like we made things right again. The answer actually is Pokemon Gold and Silver. They're the only 2 to have done that. Yeah, so if you actually play Silver version, you have different sprites in it than the Gold version, which is very interesting to think about.
Interesting.
And Crystal, you have different ones as well, and Crystal actually has animations for the sprites. That's the
I remember
first game
that.
that ever did that.
I very specifically remember
It was a
that
big deal.
being a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a big
Gave him
deal.
life.
It was a big deal. All right. Well, that gives you guys, unfortunately, you are 1 for 2. You can use the hint without worry about wasting something now, I guess.
Yay.
So, on to question 3, which is a Pokedex entry question. This one is going to come to you from, I'm going to do this one from Spike.
Okay.
Its Pokemon Sun Pokedex entry reads, despite its adorable appearance, when it gets angry and flails about, its arms and legs could knock a pro wrestler sprawling. Who's that Pokemon?
Arms and legs. It's adorable.
I couldn't even begin to guess at the moment.
Oh,
I have
goodness.
nothing. Arms and legs flailing. I'm trying to think of like a cute Pokemon that's also like a powerful.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we're getting the bonus point on this question.
Well, we need to ask something.
You do have the hint too. If you want to use the hint here, you could do that. You get two.
I don't know about using the hint here.
And I'd rather save it for question 4.
Right. Let's say this is Sun and Moon. This is for Sun.
Sun. Yeah. Maybe some kind of normal, maybe a fighting type, maybe a fairy type.
Yeah. Fighting type makes sense to me. What's a cute fighting type?
Yeah, is there?
Yeah, I don't know. Mankey's kind of
Riolu?
cute, right? Riolu? Actually, you know what? We could do Riolu.
Sure.
Let's do Riolu.
Riolu is incorrect. So your second entry is going to come to you from Pokemon Sword. And
Okay,
its
cool.
sword entry is going to read, its fluffy fur is a delight to pet, but carelessly reaching out to touch this Pokemon could result in a painful retaliation.
Okay.
Fluffy fur.
Oh, you know what? It's probably Stuffle.
Oh! Is Stuffle fluffy, though?
I mean, it's a stuffed animal, right? Like,
Okay.
that's its whole thing. And it's a fighting type, and it's cute. Right?
I could believe that. I got nothing to counter with, so I'm willing to go with you on it.
Yeah, let's try Stuffle.
Stuffle is correct.
Yes!
That makes you guys 2 for 3. You're doing pretty well.
We're so good at this.
I know, right?
Okay, your next question is going to be worth up to 3 points here.
Yeah.
There are 4 answers. I only need 3 of them. 1 point for each answer you give me. You get 2 strikes.
Okay.
This question is going to come from Rapture. Excluding Arceus, what types have not been represented on any mythical Pokemon? Mythical Pokemon, not legendary Pokemon.
Mythical. All right.
Oh, boy.
There are 4 types
normal,
that have not.
has normal appeared on a mythical?
On a mythical. I don't think it has.
You will need to lock in answers with me. Like I said.
Let's lock it in.
That is incorrect.
Wait.
Meloetta would like to talk to you.
Oh.
Darn you, Meloetta. Okay, let's take a moment with this. All right, so rock type, Gen 1, no. Gen 2, no. Gen 3, no. Gen 4, who are the mythicals in Gen 4?
Wait, what about Diancie?
Diancie is a mythical, yep, so that's no good. Ground is a very peculiar typing that may not have shown up in a mythical.
Oh, God, let me think about mythicals.
I need somebody like write down the types that I know are definitely having those, so I don't say them.
I think you're right, though. I think Ground may not.
Yeah, Ground doesn't strike me as one that has had one. I'm trying to think of 6, 7, and 8. So 6, no. 7, Magearna, so no. 8 didn't have it, I don't think either.
No. Yeah, let's lock in Ground.
Ground is correct. That's one of them. That's 1 point.
All right.
There are 3 more to go.
And we can't get any more wrong, or we can get one more wrong?
You can get one more wrong.
Okay.
You can get one more wrong.
Okay, so I have the type chart pulled up now, so I'm gonna go through it. Bug is no because we've got Genesect.
Yeah,
Dark
Genesect.
is no because of Hoopa.
Right.
Dragon is I feel like Dragon exists.
Does it?
As a mythical. I feel like it should exist as a mythical.
It should, but I don't know if it does.
I know. Now that I'm like going through this, I'm wondering if it does.
Because, I mean, it's overrepresented in legendaries, but I don't think it's in mythicals now I'm thinking about it.
Who's the Gen 8 mythical? No, Zaru, so that's no good.
Yeah.
Wow, is Dragon really not one of them?
I don't think
shocking.
it is. Let's try it. Let's
Okay.
lock in Dragon.
Dragon is also correct. That's 2. There are 2 more.
Okay.
I only need 1 more.
That's
Actually,
fine.
if you get the other 2 without using the hint, I'll give you 4 points. I'll be generous today.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Electric, so has Zeraora. Fairy, we has plenty.
All right.
Fighting has Meloetta, technically.
Mm-hmm.
So fire has Volcanion. Flying.
Celebi's flying, isn't it?
No. Grass Psychic.
Oh, that's right, Grass. Right.
So flying. I feel like
Flying?
Shaman has a flying form.
Oh, flying. Yeah, I guess so.
Ghost with the Hoopa. Grass was Sarud. Ground we already said. Ice. Is there an ice type mythical?
I don't think there is. Not a mythical, right?
I don't.
I'm trying to think because
I don't think so. Okay, well, there's 2 left. Hold on. Let's hold off for a second. So there's ice, which we're not sure about. Poison, which I don't think exists. Psychic exists. Rock exists.
Yeah.
Steel exists. Water exists. So it'd have to be poison and ice.
Yeah, poison and ice. Let's do it. Let's lock it in.
Those are both correct.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
You've got, I'll give you some examples of all of them, but you said most of them. Normal, Mellow, like we said. Psychic, I mean, yes.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Grass
Yes,
is also a lot of places. Steel is Jirachi, or even Magirna. Darkrai, Hoop Unbound. Flying, Shaman Skyform, I believe, is the only one. Fire, you've got Victini, Volcanion. Fighting, you've got a lot, actually. You've got Meloetta, you've got Keldeo. You've got Marshadow.
Oh yeah.
You've got Bug and Genesect, also Steel and Genesect. Rock and Diancie, which I believe is the only rock type. Fairy, and I think Magirna's the only fairy type one right now.
Diancie.
Oh, Diancie. Yep. Never mind. You're right. Ghost and Marshadow and Hoopa, and Electric and Zeraora. I don't think there's another one.
No,
I don't think there is.
But yeah. All right. But that I'll give you the 4 points. Why not? That gives you guys 6 points total today.
We're so good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you still have the hint too, so you're doing pretty good.
We're rocking.
You can go for 7 today. This next one is going to come to you from, I'm going to say Sly. Everyone is aware that Shedinja has the lowest base HP of all Pokemon. That's a given. However, which Pokemon has the second lowest base HP?
We would like to cash in our hint, please.
Yeah.
This Pokemon has a regional form, and the regional form is tied for the lowest base HP with that Pokemon.
Oh, I think it's Diglett, to be honest.
You're probably right.
I think Diglett has a 20 or some kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Because that's the horrible thing about Diglett, and Dugtrio is not much better. They have just trash HP.
Right. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Okay. Diglett, please.
Diglett is correct with a base status 10. Next is a lot of ties. Magikarp, Pichu, Shuckle, Feebas, Duskull, and Mime Jr. at 20. And Abra, Magnemite, Wimpod, and Blipbug at 25. Ooh. So that gives you guys 7 points today, which does change up the standings. I think it does at least. We'll find out.
Hey, most points I've gotten in one of these so far. So
I can tell. I can tell as I'm typing it in. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna. I mean, to be fair, you technically got 6 points on your own or whatever. Fine.
Yeah.
So, I gave you the bonus point because I like you. So
thanks.
Well, thank you,
Thatch.
Thatch.
You're welcome, guys. You're always welcome. All right. In first place, we've got Whimsicott with 24 points. In second place, we have Seth Vilo with 20. In third place, we have Sublime with 19. Tied for fourth, we've got our Sigma and Jushiro with 18. Within shooting distance, though, we've got in sixth place Mark with 17. Tied for seventh, we've got Linian and P McGee with 15. In ninth, we've got Cloud9 with 9. In 10th, we've got Shamu with 8, and that's it. That's the thing. If you want more PUCL's Poke Quiz, tune in next week, and we'll give you more probably. Until then, we're going to kick it on over to the topic. Hey, would you like a green Tauros badge? Well, you can have one. If you come over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PuCL we are going to be giving them out once we hit $850. We're going to be giving those to every patron at the $10 plus tier because we love you guys. We'd love to see this project made. Of course, if we hit any other thresholds on the way there, such as $800 for the week-long giveaways to the community, that would also happen as well. So, if you'd be interested in getting a green Tauros badge, feel free. Come on over. If you can't support the show, don't worry about it. You just listening is enough for us. So, until then, though, guys, I'm Thatch, and I'll catch you guys on the flip-flop. And welcome to our topic. Our topic today is going to be glitchy games in Pokemon, which is like the first 10 years.
Yeah.
First decade, more or less.
I think Gen 3 is pretty solid. I don't know if there's any like notable glitches, but I'm going to find out actually because my curiosity is piqued. But Mark suggested this one, so I'm going to let Mark talk about things that he was thinking about.
I mentioned before, I started playing Pokemon back in the original release, and I even had a wonderful website with Pokemon-themed hacks and tips on it, most of which were wrong, but,
As is tradition.
Yeah, but, I remember vividly just how crazy it was to get Missing No originally, and that was one of the defining things, oddly enough, of the game, at least if you played it enough, was everybody knew about Missing No. You had 100 rare candies, you had 100 Master Balls. It was an easy way to kind of glitch your way through the game and to a point, assuming it didn't destroy your game in the process, get anything you wanted, essentially. I also remember in Gen 2, there was a cloning glitch.
Yes, I remember that.
I exploited a lot.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if those were exactly glitches, if that was like...
Or an exploit, I guess.
I would call that more of an exploit because it's more of dealing with the way the game handled data than it was like the code's badly written, Yeah, okay, that's fair. But regardless, I think, right now a lot of what I'm seeing about BDSP are these various exploits and glitches and windows that were put incorrectly in the game. But, these things are rightfully criticizable, but I think it's also important to remember, going back, Pokemon was always full of these kinds of things. And, I think what you said starting off with Thatch is we started having more stable games for a long time, and now we're kind of going back to our roots. Yeah, in a bad way, I think. I don't know. I think it's really funny for a lot of reasons. One, because if you look at the code of BDSP, they literally just... I kid you not. From what I understand from a lot of the people who understand code and the data minders, it really looks like they took Gen 4's code and they took Gen 8's code and they were just now kiss. In the back end, it's literally Diamond and Pearl. In OG Diamond and Pearl, you had the Game Boy slot encounters. If you had Fire Red in the cartridge, you could catch Elekid or something like that in certain places. Really? They had these. It was really cool. I'm literally waiting for a Nintendo DS capture card to mod to go back on the market so I can do that exactly on stream. But yeah, they had this thing where you could put a Game Boy game in the bottom cartridge, and it would change what wild Pokemon you find, and that is still in the code of BDSP.
Huh.
Really?
There's data for if you have Fire Red inserted, this Pokemon will pop up on the route.
That's awesome.
In the encounter tables, yeah. I think BDSP has some issues, but Pokemon itself is just built on glitches in general. Gen 1.
Oh yeah.
There's actually somebody did a documentary on it. Or maybe it was not a documentary. It might have been a Did You Know Gaming type deal on Mew, where they talked about the creation of Mew. This I guarantee this comes back to glitches. I promise. And they talked about, because Game Freak started out as a magazine, and it started out as a magazine that would report on just tips from arcade people that like to go to arcades.
Oh yeah.
That's literally playground rumors, because it would be nothing verifiable. You just trust the person that said it to you. So it's literally the Mew's under the truck type deal. So that's why Mew started working, because people would hear about Mew, they found out about it, and they would talk about how to get it, and it would just kept making the game more and more and more popular in Japan. I think the glitches did the same thing, right? Because you got this playground rumor of hey, you could do Missing No. Here's how you do Missing No, right? It's kind of nutsos, I think.
Well, think about all the different moves and stuff in Gen 1 that did the opposite of what it was supposed to do.
It was bad. That game's a mess.
I mean, it's a fun little disaster, but so much of that game is hard to play now because of how frustrating some of it can be.
Yeah.
I think it's unfair for us to I think about to myself, because we're doing the AMA on Discord, and somebody did ask me what my least favorite game was. I answered Gen 1 because it is literally my least favorite to play through. But if you look and you contextualize it for what it was at the time, it was incredibly good. You never had any kind of RPG that could do that on a handheld console.
Right. And I think, on that note, Gen 2 was so exciting because it allowed you to do all of that and more.
Gen 2's great. Only because I'll say it again, everybody's playing it wrong. Everybody's playing it wrong. You're supposed to just play it like little bit by little bit. If you play a little bit by little bit, everything's fine. Instead of like binging it, you can't binge it. It doesn't comprehend with like how we play video games nowadays. You can't just like go in and binge. I guess if you play Animal Crossing, you could be like, yeah, I can Gen 2, but you have to be that type of video game player.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's plenty of glitches in Gen 2 as well, but my favorite thing that's been happening recently, and I don't want to say, I'm not saying that Pokemon games might be being rushed out, but in every single generation, I think since Gen 6, we've had an issue where they've had to patch the game within like the first month because the game will crash and delete your save data if you save in a particular city.
Didn't Gen 6 have that issue in like Lumio City where if you could save and you couldn't?
It happened again in Gen 7 too. It happened in Gen 7
really?
too, and it happened in Gen 8. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It happened more than once.
Oh man.
It happens like at the beginning of every gen. It's like wherever like the most NPCs or the most action's happening. I feel like they just don't plan ahead for that, and it just happens. Yeah, it's happened. It deletes
the save?
It doesn't delete the save. It just like locks you in a weird way. It's very confusing to explain, but like yeah, it really messes with a lot of things.
What the idea is. Because there's a lot of activity going on that it just
because it's like the busiest cities. Like I believe the other one that it happens in is like one of the first cities you go into on Melee Island, because that one has a lot of stuff going on in it, and I believe it also happened there. And I forget which one, but I think like every gen I just kind of like wait for that update where it's just like, where's it not safe to save now? Every new game that comes out in the gen, just because it happens, and I mean it's fine. It's not something because like it's not something you get until you uber stress test the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it funny.
As someone that isn't overly familiar with some of the glitching and stuff behind the scenes, like in Gen 4, it was able to be patched, or was that right? With something they were able to patch stuff, or when could they start patching for glitches? Like when did that start becoming an option for them?
Not until Gen 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought there was something with like there was some kind of way like where you connected and so they could retroactively patch an issue with like Gen 4 or Gen 5.
So the way they did it in Gen 3, and they might have done this similarly in Gen 4.
Mm-hmm.
So Gen 3, there's a berry glitch in Ruby and Sapphire, not in Leaf Green, Fire Red, or even Emerald. There's this thing called a berry glitch where after your game does X number of days cycles, it just won't reset, and so your berries will just stop growing.
Oh yeah.
They did come out with a patch for that. It is in the worst way that most people probably did not have access to. I have access to it, which is kind of cool. But it's if you got the Jirachi bonus disc from pre-ordering Pokemon Coliseum, where you can get Jirachi on your Ruby, it would update the berry glitch for you. It'd fix the berry glitch.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was thinking about too, actually, to be honest, was some kind of like event.
They might have done it through like if you went, because there were a lot of like go to GameStop, get this Pokemon distributions for Diamond and Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of those. I remember doing those pretty often, especially like just back in high school, because like I'd go there with like my friends and stuff and be like, yeah, let's go get these Pokemon, and not talk to anybody. If you can get it from outside the store, you're doing even better.
See, my experience with Gen 4, and this is why I really kind of enjoyed playing BDSP for the the experience, is my friend group discovered how to generate Mons. And so we played through Gen 4 with Gen Mons. And that was like not quite the experience you should have. But that's one of the reasons I was really excited about playing the game.
That's just really nostalgic, right? Like, I think this is something that's kind of been lost over time with Pokemon. I think Pokemon is about how you play Pokemon. I don't think it matters about how this person plays Pokemon or how that person plays Pokemon. And I think sometimes the modern way they design Pokemon games prevents that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Which is unfortunate, but I'm hoping they change course.
Well,
it's fun if you've discovered glitches and you like exploit them to have fun. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the Shaman glitch, or I guess it's a glitch, where people are able to surf up to him in BDSP. Like, who cares?
That was a thing also in Base Diamond and Pearl too, I believe, actually. Yeah, where you could glitch through walls and stuff like that, and people use that to go get Darkrai and Shaman and also Arceus at the time.
Yeah, and I don't see any problem with that. I mean, it's in the game. It's there.
Yeah, so. That's why they stopped. That's actually why they stopped doing it, because people would discover the mythicals like super easy that way, not even through like data mining the games, which is why now like Zarude wasn't in Base Sword and Shields, right? They wanted to keep their little secret. Worst secret to hide from us, by the way, was Zarude. Like, that's like the least inspired mythical I've ever seen, but it's fine.
Yeah.
One of my favorite glitches of all time that happened in Pokemon was the Skydrop glitch that happened.
Tell me about that, because it got like banned from competitive play as a move. So what's the deal with Skydrop?
Okay, so Skydrop the move, what it does is it's a 2-turn attack, but what it does is it actually picks up the opposing Pokemon, and so that Pokemon becomes inactive for a turn essentially, while you're up in the air flying, and then you drop him and it does damage. But what would happen, this perpetuated all the way through Gen 5, black, white, black 2, white 2. And so what happened, it specifically occurs in double battles and triple battles. But if you're using gravity at the same time, if you use gravity while the two Pokemon are in the air, the Pokemon using Skydrop and the Pokemon they picked up, what ends up happening is, I believe, they never actually leave the invulnerable state, or the semi-invulnerable state.
Interesting.
Yeah. It is really broken and bad. I think, didn't they get rid of Skydrop finally?
I might have.
Was that one of the cold?
I can imagine they would keep that move. It didn't have a lot of value.
Yeah, it was cold.
I'll check though. Yeah.
It was definitely cold. I mean, because they still had the issue even in like Sun and Moon. It was just really nasty and weird. It's a weird, terrible glitch. And it's a weird, terrible move that didn't need to exist. So Skydrop was like really bad because like they actually so I went to the 2011 National Championships just to watch when those happened. That was back when they were at Indianapolis. I have to say, out of the two convention centers that I've been to nationals at, I think the Indianapolis one's nicer.
I've been to their convention centers. They're nice.
Yeah. That convention center, the Indianapolis Convention Center, I think is nicer than the Columbus Convention Center. Mm-hmm. Regardless, they actually used to have like signs posted like about like the rules, and like there's like 3 bullets, and one of them is just like, don't use Skydrop. And I thought that was hilarious because especially in Gen 5, you didn't have the team check ability that they have now. Well, team check ability in quotes that they have now, because I'm pretty sure when I went and competed in 2018, like all they did was take my 3DS and like make sure that I could connect to Wi-Fi or something and go online with that team. Like that was their hack check. It's a legality check, guys. But that's the kind of stuff. But it's really hard because like you could have somebody just like accidentally walk in with Skydrop or something back in Gen 5 during competitive. It's just something to keep in mind. I don't know. I find I get a good hoot and a holler out of that. Granted, not a lot of people get, not a lot of Pokemon get Skydrop to begin with. I think it's like Braviary, Hawlucha. It was
I remember
busted.
it being just busted.
It was busted. Like the game, the move just never worked properly. Like never. It never interacted well with gravity.
I think that and what was it? Chatter were like 2 of the only moves that ever got banned because of some of the programming stuff with them was just wonky because people would just screech into their microphones for Chatter to get the highest base power damage.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. So funny.
It's really dumb. Like that glitch was, that one just brings back memories because it's just like, and if you look at that too, like it moves like Skydrop. I totally understand the move culling, and I totally understand them culling things in general from Pokemon because it does get complicated, and I definitely believe that Pokemon has spaghetti code.
Yeah.
Like at this point, I absolutely believe it. Like I'm willing to forgive BDSP all of its issues, all of the glitches, just because I guarantee you they spent more time than anything else just porting the engine to Unity. Like that is my very steadfast opinion.
Well, was it you, Thatch, you're saying that there was a lot of different teams who ended up working on BDSP?
Yeah.
So I imagine there's a lot of like probably having to sew it all together, so to speak.
Well, going to Unity is definitely a good move, in my opinion, because it's a platform that just game developers know how to do. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Pokemon doesn't like it entirely. Like, I guarantee it was one of those things where they kind of like did it like really like there was definitely like an internal monologue where they just said, I don't really want to do this. And that's probably because they wouldn't be able to keep their spaghetti code intact. And it was the exciting thing about being in Unity. I mean, this is pseudo like tangential to glitches, is that you can mod these like very easily because they're in Unity. So you can potentially just use this because you know how we get like ROMs all the time of older games. They could use this for a ROM, like the base of a ROM. Huh. And so we could get Pokemon in, we can get BDSP style ROMs. Pokemon games, which is really exciting for the fan community.
Yeah.
So it's just it's interesting in that regard because it's easy to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it means it's also easier for other people to like come in and help out. And I'm wondering if that's part of the issue that they've been having in general.
Manpower?
Is just that. Well, it's just not manpower, but like there's probably a learning curve to working on a Pokemon game because it's just like this is our homebrew code.
Oh yeah.
And so you have to come in and you have to learn their homebrew code, and it's probably buggy and it probably breaks things.
Oh yeah.
It probably breaks things. But Unity's like a great move. So I will forgive all of the BDSP glitches, though they are many. The only thing that I didn't like about him was because they started patching them recently, is people were just like, I'm not updating because I want to be able to clone. And it's just like,
oh, yeah.
Just like, it's fine, bud. Like, do you need that many, Mareep or whatever you're trying to clone?
I mean, just be like me and, generate what you need, but...
Yeah. Yeah. Go spend $300 on a launch Switch and just homebrew that. That's what you should do. Yeah, BDSP had a lot of glitches though. I mean, like that cloning glitch was one. I mean, that was just I didn't look too much into it because I didn't really care.
The Snowpoint Gym.
That one's bad. I don't know if I call that a glitch.
I mean, that
What's
was
this?
a failure.
So McGee lets you walk diagonal, right? You couldn't do that in Diamond Pro.
Yeah.
Turns out though they're just like, but this is still a grid-based game. That's what they keep telling themselves. But you can go diagonal in the Snowpoint Gym. And if you go diagonal in the Snowpoint Gym, you can get yourself lodged into places that you could never get yourself lodged before. And you can end up accidentally soft-locking yourself into the Snowpoint Gym.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Well thought out.
Very, very well executed. But yeah, it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, because I think that had something to do with the autosave, too.
Well, yeah, so you could end up auto-saving after you get yourself soft-locked. So then you're pretty much screwed and you're soft-locked in that position, right?
You're just in the gym now, forever.
Yeah, your character's in the gym on that save forever unless you reboot the game, restart the game. It was absolutely nuts. That was absolutely nuts.
I still turn off my, even after getting the patch, just to be safe, I turned off my autosave.
Yeah, I do not disagree with you doing that. It was very, very scary in that note. But yeah, Diamond and like BDSP had their share of issues because of that.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but the thing I really appreciate about BDSP though is they like shrunk the number of version exclusives down pretty low. They got rid of most of them, I think. I think they got rid of a lot.
That never really bothered me too much.
I think this was really cool for the Pokemon community in general though, to kind of like have those moments. It was kind of nostalgic.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everybody's complaining and it's like, you guys, think about where we've come from. Yeah. This is what we do.
Yeah. No, we love breaking the game, right? Like
it's part of the Pokemon experience is enjoying the failures of the code.
I mean, it kind of is from a nostalgia standpoint, because I don't think, like, when you're kids, and this is mostly for older Pokemon fans probably, like, if you're a Pokemon fan under the age of 20, I don't think you've experienced any, like, real broken Pokemon game until this.
Yeah.
Because, like, X and Y, we can talk, there glitches in terms of, like, being able to save in Lumio City and whatnot, but this one was, like, the first, like, I'm walking through walls, you know, and I'm surfing a shaman. So it's...
I still might do. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. I'm just going to wait for the event, because obviously they want to do the events in this.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
I'm excited about
what
that.
I was thinking.
I'm very excited for the events in this, just because it's a way to relive them.
It's a way for me to experience them, because the only way I could do it in my childhood was like glitching the game with like some kind of not Game Shark, whatever that thing was.
Action replay. I know which one. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
So I couldn't experience the Shaman event, the Darkrai event, the Arceus event. I know we can't still experience the Arceus event, but I couldn't do any of those as a kid without having to glitch the game. So it's cool to have that opportunity now, hopefully.
I think we might get the Arceus event in this game.
I would hope.
I could see it after Legends launches that they have.
After Legends launches, I think if you look in the game code in version 1.0, they have like an unfinished Spear Pillar like top floor.
Okay.
Hall of Origins. They've got like a unfinished one, and they wiped it when they went to 1.1. They're like, no, if that's not there, we promise. So I imagine it comes in a future update with the Azure Flute or something like that. As Genichi Masuda's like 14 year later, like, I'm sorry I didn't let you do this event. You can do it now, I guess. Or I guess it'll be 15 year. I'm sorry at that point. But hey, you didn't get to do this. Here you go. You can do the Azure Flute now. Which would be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind of cool. But for those of you who want to play like OG Gen 4, by the way, you can get these events still. I want to make that clear. I don't have it on hand, but there's a website you can go to where you like go on your DS and you futz with the DNS settings on your 3DS, and you can actually connect to a specific server that allows you to get all of the Wi-Fi or get a bunch of events through Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's cool.
Including it's like a random lottery. Because it just like cycles, but you can get them. So if you ever want those events, that's a cool way to get them. That person's really cool for running that on their server. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Both Gen 4 and Gen 5 events, I believe. Gen 4 is a little bit more finicky to get set up, but you can do it. It's not too bad. Definitely recommend if you want to like have like the legit experience. You can get Victini if you play through Black and White, you know? So it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Yeah. But yeah, glitches.
Glitches. They're still there. They're still fun.
Some of them are still
always
there.
game breaking.
Yeah. There were a lot of glitches. I mean, they weren't game breaking and they were just fun.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy how the Pokemon community kind of came together to like find it out and like get really psyched about it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think these games were going to be much more exciting after like just being like, oh hey, Pokemon, that's cool. But it turned out to be pretty cool. So I'm really here for it. But I guess this is a good place to stop. We're going to kick it on over to the Pokemon of the episode. We will catch you on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
And welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 784, Komo-o, the Scaly Pokemon.
It clatters its tail scales to unnerve opponents. This Pokemon will only battle those who stand steadfast in the face of this display.
So we talked about BDSP, so we decided we're going to give you a Swish BSS team today.
Yeah, it made sense.
It made sense. No, it's just that we have like a repository of teams to use, and this is the only one that was unused so far. We have to replenish. But Komo-o is a dragon fighting type from Sun and Moon, so it's in Sword and Shield. This is a Battle Stadium singles team, so for those of you at home, that's 3v3, bring 6, choose 3. And Komo-o is good. It's a pseudo-legend. You've got 110 attack, 125 defense. I didn't realize it's 125 defense. Oh, man. 100 special attack, 105 special defense. I mean, the 75 HP definitely like knocks that down a little bit, but an 85 speed. So it's Komo-o is pretty cool, and we've got a team for him today. I guess I'll start with Komo-o today. This is a BSS team. He did get this new move in Generation 8 called Clinger's Soul, which this one is running. It's essentially an Omni boost for everything for Komo-o.
Yeah. It makes up for losing his special Z move, because that really made Komo-o special in Gen 7.
That made Komo-o usable in Gen 7.
Yeah.
He was not usable until then, so they're just like, let's just make that an actual move because it's not that broken. Yeah, which is what happened. So we've got Komo-o holding a throat spray today. He's got the soundproof ability because why not? I don't think he has anything else worthwhile, actually. Bulletproof.
And he's got overcoat and bulletproof. They're all good abilities.
Bulletproof's not bad. I like soundproof better because I think you'll see hyper voices coming at it more regularly than you will like a sludge bomb or something. This one's these spreads, I don't know the answers to why they are the way they are. I apologize in advance. But this is a 20 HP Komo-o with 252 special attack, 236 speed, rash nature because you don't want to decrease both its attack and special attack. You just want to decrease. I believe rash is special defense. No, that's defense. Minus defense plus speed. I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know off the top of my head. I believe it's minus defense though. It is Clinging Scales, Drain Punch, Taunt, and Clinger of Souls. That way you can get like +2 special attack on Clinging Scales the first time.
Yep.
And then you have Drain Punch for recovery. This is uber hyper offense. Speaking of hyper offense, the Poltegeist that's also on this team is doing what I would call Poltegeist things.
Mostly.
This is Focus Sash with weak armor. So if you hit it, its speed goes up, but its defense goes down. 4 attack, 252 special attack, 252 speed. And it's like a mild nature with Shadow Ball, Shell Smash, Stored Power, and Sucker Punch. So you just Shell Smash, and then maybe you're lucky and you can do it twice. And then you can Stored Power all day. and just go for the win if there's no dark types left. And I'm not sure what the current meta looks like, but it probably doesn't have a lot of dark types running around. There's lots of Zacian running around. Lots of Zacian.
Yeah. So this doesn't really break Zacian super well, but if you get rid of Zacian, it can do quite a bit. I mean, I'm sure that stored power, I'm sure after a boost, Shadow Ball does quite a bit to Zacian.
Yes, probably.
Mostly obliterate it. It's a worthy trade. Poltergeist for most of Zacian is pretty worthwhile.
Absolutely. All right. Somebody take 2 more of these guys. We didn't talk about it.
I can.
Man. Do it, Mark.
Speaking of Zacian, we have Zacian crowned with a rusted sword. And the ability is Intrepid Sword, of course.
Because it's a Zacian.
EVs are 252 HP, 220 attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense, and 28 speed. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there.
Very standard.
Is that standard with these guys?
I have no idea, actually.
Okay.
I'm just saying it.
Well, it's got an adamant nature. It has Iron Head, Play Rough, Close Combat, and Quick Attack. You know, it's doing Zacian things for sure.
Iron Head is Behemoth Blade, by the way, just so everybody's aware. Yeah. It's not running a Behemoth Blade. Iron Head is there. It's fine.
Next, we have Zapdos. He's got some leftovers. Ability is Pressure. EVs are 252 HP, 4 special attack, and 252 speed. Got Timid Nature, along with Discharge, Hurricane, Substitute, and Roost. So yeah, it's doing what it does.
Sit there. I guess PP stall. It's not even trying to static, which is peculiar, but it's got Discharge for that, so I guess it's okay.
I think that's why.
Yeah. I mean, it does shut down Zacian pretty well because Zacian ends up burning through his PP pretty quickly.
Sure.
But yeah.
It would be nice to have seen like a heat wave or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's okay. Yeah. It's still a Zapdos. It's still really good. It's hard to deal with Zapdos.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Next up, we've got Landorus, who's also serving a kind of bulkier role on this team. He's got a Rocky Helmet, Intimidate because that's his ability, 244 HP, 12 attack, 252 defense, Impish Nature, so to get that defense up even higher, Earthquake, Stone Edge, U-Turn, Stealth Rock, pretty standard lead with the Stealth Rock, and then you can pivot out. And then get into some of your breakers now that you have the rocks on the field to get rid of any sort of sash play. And then our final member of the team is a Tapu Fini holding a Choice Specs, Misty Surge because that's a nice ability, 252 HP, 4 defense, 196 special attack, 4 special defense, 52 speed to probably creep just past something that's uninvested. Couldn't tell you what at the moment. Modest Nature for the extra firepower. Surf, Moonblast, Shadow Ball, and Trick. So you can cripple something with the Trick, or you could just hit everything for mega damage with the specs.
Yeah.
And that's the team.
Yeah. You can go BSS this up instead of playing in a Tiny Tourney where everybody disconnects from you.
Yeah. They're too scared.
I was just too good at Tiny Tourney, okay? That's what happened.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I get it.
It's too good at Tiny Tourney. They didn't like it because I think the 200 people that actually signed up and played, none of them were very good. They just thought Squavit was really good, but Choice Band Grookey was there. Okay.
I'm surprised that wasn't like on everyone's team. Choice Banded Grookey.
I was really surprised.
Seems like a
I ran into like none. The thing I ran into a lot in Tiny Tourney was Rufflet. Rufflet everywhere.
Huh.
Interesting.
Which I mean I don't blame them because they let you Dynamax. It's a weird meta because it's like it's still
because it has
VGC.
Hustle, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has Hustle.
So you just Dynamax so you don't care about accuracy.
Well, you probably want it for the Defiant more than anything because Litten people were probably worried about Litten.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
I guess I've seen different types of Rufflet. I mean, it has like 2 or 3 good abilities for what this meta is. Good on you, Rufflet.
All right. Well, this is the team. If you want to use it, we'll have it on the Discord. You guys can go try it out. I'd give away a Shiny Komao, but you're getting better things than Shiny Komao this week. So go over there and get it. All right. So on that note, we're going to kick it on over to the mailbag.
Send in your emails. Mail!
And welcome to the mailbag. Our mailbag, as always, is the place where you can send us emails at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll probably read them on the show. We typically have a question each week. Last week, we asked you to fill out the tweet that we talked about last week, which is a lot of fun. So we're going to be able to go through that for a few of you here today. But more importantly, this segment is brought to you by the energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
enthusiasm. All right. So, moving on, we are going to go ahead and jump into this first email, who is going to be from Coolidge. And he says, "What it do, Puckle crew? Coolidge here, long-time listener, first time writing an email. I wanted to write in for a long time, but never knew how to start it. Pokemon tweets gives me a good structure and the confidence to craft a good email, so here goes nothing." This was a tweet that came out last week or the week before, where Pokemon asked you for your favorite game, your first game, your last game, and your most played game. So this was first Pokemon game, Yellow. When I was 10, Red and Blue came out. I was jealous of my friends playing these great new games where you get to catch and battle monsters. By the time Yellow came out, I had finally convinced my mom to buy me a Game Boy and a Pokemon game. The tables were turned. The friends I once was jealous of were now jealous of me. I got to start with Pikachu, and he followed me around just like Ash Ketchum. I spent more time on Pokemon Silver than Yellow, which were my two childhood games, but I'm happy I got to start on Yellow. Last game that he's played was BDSP. I was excited. Now I appreciate Swish more. I believe Jushiro said last week he resets a lot just to play through the games again with a new team. I also love doing this, and this Sinnoh Dex just kills it for me. I do not disagree. If I could access National Dex before Gym 3, I'd play BDSP 10 or 20 times. I think I'll just complete the Dex and put it down. Mining stinks. The Underground is good enough for me to complete the deck. The Underground is good enough for me to complete the decks. I wish statues and bases were implemented better. I hope they never do another remake like this again. No, I don't disagree with this, because everybody is harping on Gen 5 remakes now, right? And I'm like, yeah, you guys just saw what we got, right? You just saw what we got. You don't want this again. I don't want this again. Blah, blah, blah. Favorite Pokemon game? Pokemon Y. Pokemon Y was my Pokemon Renaissance. I played Yellow and Silver as mentioned before, but stopped after that, and didn't pick up another Pokemon game until Y.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's a lot of people. I loved Stadium as a kid, so when XY got announced, and for the first time on cartridge, there were full-on 3D Pokemon battles, I was intrigued. When I saw you could change my appearance, I was sold. When I played through Kalos and found this vast array of amazing Pokemon, I fell in love. Having missed Gen 3, 4, and 5, I was meeting new Pokemon constantly and loved it. I could also Mega Evolve Pokemon I had fallen in love with as a child. Game Freak was punching me in the face with nostalgia. That was Gen 6, to be fair. Fairy type, a berry farm, France. There's not a single thing I can complain about with my experience in X and Y. I know the community thinks the rivals and baddies were lame. Honestly, it was the last time I got generic villain plot. So yeah. I kind of, at this point, I miss it a little bit. I guess Gen 8 technically had generic villain plot, but you didn't know about the villain until the very end.
I would disagree with that. I think it was a little different from the typical, here's a villainous team doing something ridiculous, go stop them.
It was the first one in which they faced consequences, like going to prison.
Yeah, right.
At least he turned himself in, he knew he made a boo-boo, so that's good for him. I also know the community didn't like the end game or lack thereof, but I reset the game so many times just to play through with new and interesting teams, I didn't notice the lack of an end game. I love Kalos and enjoyed all the time I spent there. Most played Pokemon game, Sword. Sword and Shield are great games. Max Raids and Dynamax Adventures is why it is my most played game. Turns out co-op Pokemon is fun, guys. No, I think raid battles were one of the best ideas that they came up with.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I love Swish. The modern updates are great. The DLC is great. Megas are cool, but Dynamax is better because we got co-op out of it. I don't think Dynamax is better because we got I think you could do both.
Yeah, I don't think Dynamax is better than anything.
I don't think Dynamax is that exciting of a mechanic, from a casual perspective. You know what I mean?
I think it's cool.
Yeah, they get big. He big Grookey, big monk. Okay. All right. Favorite Pokemon soundtrack? Silver. Silver was truly the quintessential childhood game for me, so I've put the nostalgia glasses on for this answer. You can't beat those GB sounds. You're 100%. He's right, though.
Yeah.
I hope my answers weren't too long-winded. Thanks for everything you guys do. I truly appreciate it. Listening to PUCL is my favorite part of Mondays. Yours truly, Coolidge.
Nice.
Please don't read this part on the pod if you don't want to. I probably won't, but Stardew Valley's fun. All right. Next email is gonna come from LP Cuts.
LP Cuts. He says, "Hello, Puckle crew. My first games were both Leaf Green and Ruby. I received both games as hand-me-down gifts from my brother after he completed them and got the Emerald version. The first one I played out of these two was Leaf Green.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well.
Like, you want to, okay, like, we could talk about how BDSP wasn't a good remake, but I think Leaf Green's worse.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Have you played these games? Have you played Leaf Green? It's bad.
I played it so many times as a kid. I had a blast with that one.
As a kid, you can totally do it, but it does not age well, like, at all. Like, the problem is we got Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Heart Gold Soul Silver afterwards, and, like, those two are, like, the way to do remakes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I do not think that... Because, like, Gen 6 was extended by ORAS, which is really interesting. I don't think BDSP is really extended Gen 8.
No.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Heart Gold Soul Silver definitely, like, extended. I think that one, I don't know, like, I understand why Leaf Green Fire Red exists for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
One is that they left out a lot of those Pokemon from the Ruby and Sapphire Pokedex. And then two is that they saw that the initial wave of Pokemon fandom... Pokemon being a fad was like ending, and they're like, what a better way to suck the kids back in than the one that started it all. And I mean, that's the same reason we got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, let's be honest.
I mean, I like Leaf Green and Fire Red for what they are, especially when it's really hard to make in modern day an entertaining game in Kanto. Like, it
really is. It's very hard.
Unless you're going to vastly overhaul, the way that region looks and you traverse it, there's just a lot of limitations on how much entertainment you can build in that region. I think Let's Go really kind of reinforced that. There's only, the routing's still the same, so it feels outdated. So at least I enjoyed that they were ambitious somewhat with the Sevi Islands and that additional story.
The Sevi Island story is not as good as we remember as a kid. I can say that.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt that. I just appreciate that there was a good addition to the map size because it's not a very big map.
I appreciate them trying to do it, and I don't know why they're so adverse to doing things like, oh, let's make Orange Islands, or something like that.
Yeah.
When the fan base definitely has nostalgia for it, and you could easily like sell more stuff that way, like
because they couldn't make another. They can make another season going back to the Orange Islands.
No. You could just be like, hey, anime did this once. Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
They have the whole Pokemon TV thing that they're using. Like right now, they're just playing Voltorb episodes because Hisuian Voltorb happened. They could do something similar.
Yeah, I guess.
The anime is an excellent marketing tool.
Yeah, that's what it's there for. Anyways, he says, I'm very nostalgic of these sprite styles and love to see newer Pokemon in the Gen 3 sprite style. I'm also very nostalgic of Team Aqua, as they were the quote-unquote good guys in Ruby, and my affinity for water types was fortified by that version of the story. Oh, that's kind of fun.
That's cute.
My last Pokemon game was Shield. I feel the same way as most of you, which transitions me to my next answers, as it may also be my favorite at the moment. I'm not going to hype it up too much because it does frustrate me that some of the popular Pokemon were left out, while some questionable ones were made to cut. Though there are flaws, the Isle of Armor was great DLC. Like Thatch, I really wish they would have followed the success with more DLC and building upon the game to make it possibly the best game. But dreamers are often left with just that, dreams. Some of the new features like raids and camping together made it possible for my best friend and I to play together even while he was sent to South Korea by the army. Oh. Now that he is home, we are planning a Christmas tournament with some other friends. Oh, that's nice.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I miss being able to do stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The longevity of my enjoyment from this installment brings me hope for what is to come with Legends of Arceus. Also, I love my little soccer-playing rabbit, the first fire type starter I have liked over the water option, which, in Sword and Shield, that's definitely true. My most played game is surprisingly not Shield. Even though I put hundreds of hours in this game, I have racked even more in Emerald. To make a long story short, the Gen 3 games helped me make it through a rough childhood. It was my escape. My favorite game soundtrack was hands down Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. A lot of fond memories and good feelings. It'd be lame, but I have downloaded their soundtrack on Spotify to listen while I play Shield.
Replace that music. We need those mini trumpets.
Yeah, right? Thank you. Merry Christmas. Stay happy and healthy. Sincerely, LP Cuts.
Wonderful. Next one, and this is the last one for today, because these have been kind of long. It is going to be from Bosophus, and that's going to be P McGee.
Yeah, I've got it. All right. What it do, Puckle crew? It's your old friend Bo shouting a big ol' what's up to all of the Puckalonians out there. I just finished listening to last week's episode on my way to work, and right at the sign-off, I found myself in tears of nostalgia. Is it cheesy to cry while listening to a song you wrote 8 years ago? Probably. And yes, it really has been 8 years. To respond to one of the mailbag questions, I think my favorite game/generation has to be Gen 6. Back in the days before life was so time-consuming, I think back to playing with all my friends on the PSS, trying to get as many friend safaris as I possibly could, interacting and playing with everyone at PUCL, and overall being part of growing the podcast that we know and love today. Nothing ever has, and I don't think nothing ever will, surpass that feeling of unity, community, and serendipity I feel and still feel about that time. I wanted to write in just to share my feelings and to let you know I love you all and miss you dearly, friends.
Cool.
I have been in the Discord much more frequently as of late and hope to run into everyone there at some point in the near future. I hope this email finds you well, and may PUCL ever prosper in the new year to come. I'll catch you all on the flip-flop. Trainer Bocephus signing off.
Well, thanks, Bo. Actually, I remember playing the PSS. It was a big deal. Like, PSS made things so much easier. And I think the closest we've gotten to that is YCOM, unfortunately/fortunately.
Yeah.
That's like the closest we've gotten to it. I still wish they would like let you friend people easier and just so you could have your friends easily accessible.
Yeah.
The trade codes are a good compromise, I think. Like trade and link codes are just are very good compromises.
I suppose. I think I agree PSS was better, but
I think with with the dual screens, I don't understand why it wasn't done in Gen 7.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Well, I think it's because they wanted to push Rotom Dex down our throat, but that's a different story. I really appreciate what YCOM is for a single screen experience, and being that I don't have to enter a friend code into Pokemon Sword and Shield to be able to trade with people or into my Switch makes my life feel a lot better.
Yeah.
All right, so before we end though, who do you think deserves the Green Tauros badge? That's the question. I'm feeling Coolidge.
Yeah, I'm
cool with Coolidge.
Too.
Coolidge, you got the badge. Come on to the Discord,
Congrats.
ask for it. It's all yours. Finally, we'll finish here. If you want to email us, what your favorite Pokemon glitch has been or is or what, please send it to us at puclpodcast@gmail.com and we'll read it next week. Until then, let me think. Oh, you want to come to pucldiscord.com, hang out, get the Advent Pokemon. You want to follow us over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr. You want to be able to go over to YouTube at youtube.com/puclpodcast to get more content. I've got some ideas coming and brewing in my head, so there's probably going to be some more stuff that's happening soon, especially if you miss streams, because I'm trying to make streams more of a production. So if you miss those, there's definitely content to be had there. You can go ahead and follow us on Twitch as well, over at twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast. Maybe even leave a Twitch Prime sub. Or you can support the show by going over to patreon.com at patreon.com/puclpodcast, where we got a variety of rewards, and you can check them out over there. So please do, and let's have a good time. Don't forget, Thursdays, also PUCL Plus has an episode coming out. I forget what it is this week. It might be Trivia Rewind. So on that note, we are going to go ahead, and we're going to end the show here. I have been Trainer Thatch.
I have been P McGee. Oh, you cut me off. It's fine, I'll close. And I have been P McGee.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.